All right, boys, check it out. Get this fucking Spear LT here, 11.5 inch, and I'm gonna shoot it at those TRX arm zero targets because I forgot my 25 meter zero targets, and they're 20 something yards away here. I'm gonna shoot this 5 rounds, point of aim on the left target there, and the right target. I'm gonna shoot 5 rounds, point of aim on that right target. I'm gonna go for the tip of the triangle that's facing down. This is not scientific. And then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is walk on back here, and I'm gonna crank real hard on this thing's fucking barrel because it's free floated. And then I'm gonna crank on this thing's barrel because it's free floated. And we're gonna see if the zeros shift.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, cool. Let's just do 5 fucking rounds.
I think this is a range Papa would like.
Cool trigger sticking because that sucks. We're using shitty PMC 855 because I'm poor. All right, 5 rounds. I'm gonna write pre-kick.
Put pre-K. Pre-cum.
Now I'm gonna go kick both of those barrels really hard from right to left. And we're gonna see if the zeros shift. This test is
Science.
I just want to video calling.
Science deserves to be documented. Film the divot in the fucking wall in case anyone tries to say you didn't fucking do it.
okay. Mark 12's up first. We'll help that one throw. Okay. Because we're at 25 fucking yards using non-match ammo and it doesn't fucking matter.
It's crazy. Holes in the same spot.
Damn, we do have a flyer there.
Oh.
Okay, that's a lot of walking for me. I'm fat and I'm not in the military anymore. The most cardio I do is walking down my fucking bedroom stairs in the morning. Okay, so we have a flyer. Okay, maybe that's a big deal, but what's this? Crazy, we have 2 outside the line on the Mark 12. Okay, team, I'm starting to think this doesn't fucking matter. I just shot this group here, right? Oh, it's a little bit left, it's a little bit right. So were these 2, it's fine. All right, and mind you, this was after kicking it from right to left. Then I kicked it left to right as hard as I could. And it did this. Okay, I smacked it off of this shit. See, you can see where my fucking can hit right there. And look, fucking exactly the same. They both fuck. So, I'm gonna talk shit about these handguards real quick. Okay, so these fucking screws are great, but the way they come from the factory fucking sucks. So they put rock set in there, and then they screw it down to like not even hand tight, and then the rock set dries. So when I first got this, I was doing my little checks and everything. I fucking had to wrench on this thing so hard, and I'm like, why is the screw not touching the metal? I kept pulling the handguard off. I had to wrench on these things so fucking hard to even get them to engage because I had to break that rock set, like well over 60 inch-pounds or whatever the fuck the spec is. Like my Torx thing wouldn't work. So I just used a regular screwdriver, wrenched the fuck down on them until I was like peening this shit. and then they're fine, okay? And same thing with the bottom ones. We always forget about the bottom ones. I got the big MCX and the Rattler that have the Midwest handguards. They don't have these side screws, but they do have this bottom, and they both had play until I wrenched them down, okay? And Loctited them and witness marked them like a fucking adult, okay? And both of those guns shot maybe twice, sometimes once, sometimes 3 times a month at night. One has a Surefire XC2 IRC with the laser. It's like the XC2, the Rattler. And then the other one has a fucking OTOL on it. Both of them held 0. Both their front iron sights held 0. Both their fucking optics held 0 through all of that for like a year straight. So yes, these things have problems. No, they're not as secure as regular AR handguards. So I'm gonna say all of this after doing that. So number one, I don't doubt that MCX's left the factory with barrels that were improperly fitted into the receivers. I also think that it's more than possible. It's distinctly possible. The fact that the barrels, maybe when they're turning them down, they oh no, it's a couple extra thou or whatever, made it a little too, the diameter a little bit too small. Maybe the receivers are a little bit out of spec. So it's wholly possible. It is super duper turbo possible that MCXs are just leaving the factory like that. It's also, you know, I would say more likely, a greater possibility that these barrels are not, like those T27 bolts that are holding your barrels into your receivers aren't being tightened to spec. So, I mean, I saw that with the Handguard, right? I've seen that with like a lot of parts of like my MCXs. These parts aren't fucking tightened. So I'm not, I wouldn't argue that, but you know, I wouldn't argue that just simply tightening them to spec is going to solve the problems with it. But here's something I will say. So the barrel itself, I do doubt slightly that that the barrels are moving in the receivers as much as people might be saying. I think most of it is the Handguard, or possibly the two things in concert, right? Because when we're bending the barrel against the Handguard, they're going to go in opposite directions. We're pushing them into each other. So one's going left, the other one's going right. Because I find it challenging to believe that the bolt would be able to go into battery like that. I just don't think the tolerances are that loosey-goosey for your bolt to be able to go into battery, or your bolt to be able to cycle properly. And if it did, if the barrel was that loose, your bolt would probably straighten it as it cycled, right? Because you have that kind of tight-fitting multi-lug rotating bolt. And I'm not an engineer or a machinist or anything. I got friends who are. We've talked about this, but there seems to be this like persistent thing where people are saying that the barrel, it's like the steel is bending. Bro, dog, you are not doing that many farmer's carries. Your hand fucking pressing against your thumb against the fucking Handguard and then pulling the barrel with your hands is not physically bending the barrel. That's just not happening. Because if you can't do that with like rebar, I don't think you're doing it with a 416 barrel, like 416 steel barrel. I don't know what the steel is. I don't know. It's Rockwell hardness, whatever. But it's just not happening. Like if it has any heat treat at all, even if it doesn't, you're just not gonna bend a half-inch thick, or you know, I don't know the barrel thickness, but you're not gonna bend it. You can't. I got this gun. I ordered it in January. It was kind of a lack of impulse control incident. I have a Gen 1, like an OG, like could take AR triggers MCX. And then I have a Rattler, which I guess is a Virtus. The Handguards aren't perfect. They're not. Neither of them is particularly precise like they're not repeatably like mechanically accurate. They're accurate enough. I take them out to 200-300, not super regularly, but like they do it. My big MCX, my original one, I think I bought it in like 2015, has been kind of my go-to for 5 years now, maybe 6. It's been to a few classes. Shooting about, especially the last year, maybe like 500 to 1,000 a month through it. It's seen a lot of rounds. It's honestly, it's a good gun. And I think the kind of like the issues that we make up in our heads with them, or the poor QC that we see in them, kind of detracts from that. Yeah, man, if I'm paying fucking like 3,000, well, I think I paid 1,600 for my OG MCX back in the day at Cabela's. But yeah, if we're paying like $3,000 for fucking, maybe, you know, maybe you tighten the bolts a little bit when you freaking, before you send it out the door, you know? Because that sucks. And it doesn't inspire confidence. And I had maybe, I remember the point of this rant. I put like 2,000 rounds through mine in the past. Let's see. I actually received it in April. I put 2 cases through. Yeah, and it's a good gun. But this whole like Handguard thing, like I was like, oh well, it's not moving. Mine's not moving. But then it got a lift of thinking, you know. What if it is? So I did this today to kind of like gut check myself, because like if it was jacked up, I would have RMA'd it and then dumped the platform. Like, not the platform, but the gun. I would have RMA'd it and then be like, cool, that's a cool looking brown gun. I'm gonna put that on a wall. I'm leaving that on a wall because it fucking sucks. But you know, it ended up being, mine's fine. Anecdotally, shoot your guns a whole bunch. And then treat them like a dog that you want to fight other dogs. So you beat it and starve it, and don't treat it like like it has a soul or needs to be taken care of. And then if it breaks or fails, then like cool,
Mr. Daniel,
get a different thing. And if it doesn't, then like sick, rely on it and feel confident in it, and be the very best version of you that you can ever be.
I'm finished.
Okay, bye.